Welcome back, guys. This is Bradadiah coming back with another SEAL cast. Today, we're in the lower bracket finals. It's going to be a TVP of Flick versus Nukemaster. I'm super excited for this one. I love me some TVP. Let's hop into this. Maybe starting the series off on Polypoid. Pretty good map. In the bottom left, the red Protoss hailing from Vietnam. It is Flick. And in the bottom right, the Australian Terran player in the blue trunks. He is Nukemaster. So, we recently casted Nuke get his revenge on Circular, using a 2-base, 6-factory push-out, where basically powered up on 2 bases, 6 facts, has a huge push-out, and smashes the 3rd base location of the Protoss. And we even saw Nuke take a 3rd behind that in one of the games, so seems like that he had a plan. Even if the Protoss doesn't die to that push, that the game can move on. So on the Protoss side of things, for Flick, we're starting out with a Nexus first, and on the Terran side, we're opening up with a Rax and a Gas, assuredly to be expanding soon, I am sure. Both players out in the map, getting a little scouting done, not scouting the correct direction for either of them. Feels Artosis Man. And yeah, there's that expansion. So nothing crazy. We're not going to see any like double gas, super fast factories. Pretty straightforward on both sides, really. So on the side of the Protoss, that second gas is coming down. We're going to have 2 gates. We'll see the Cyber coming down soon. And yeah, really, really standard. So when we were casting Nuke versus Circular, something I kept bringing up was Reavers. Reavers. Circular likes using Reavers every single game, constantly. I don't associate Flick with Reavers in the same way that I associate Circular with Reavers, where I think that is really Circular strength, and I was shocked. I will not be shocked if we don't see Reaver openers. I associate Flick with super solid fundamental play. Using Dragoons to slow down pushes, keeping on pressure, keeping tabs on everything that the Terran is doing. I wouldn't be surprised if we just see... So we'll see 2 Goons. Okay, we might see those Reavers, though. Let's see. This is probably for Observers. I wouldn't be surprised if we just see Goons, maybe like a 3rd gate come down soon, and go Dragoon Observer off like maybe 3 gate. And just propel themselves into a 3rd base to get a really solid economy. Nukemaster coming in with a pretty nice scout. Gonna see the Robo. Gonna be taken up by these Dragoons, but the SCV knew the assignment, understood the assignment, it did it. It got an A. Let's see, are we gonna see Dragoon range? Yeah, Observatory. It's just nice, you know, like not dealing with mines like that. And yeah, on the side of Nuke, very standard, right? We have some Vultures pumping, the mines upgrades on the way. We got a tank coming out. Probably going to see Siege after. Might see Speed before Siege. I don't remember what he was doing in those last games necessarily in the order of those upgrades. I just knew it was mines first. And yeah, see Flick playing really, pretty defensive, pretty safe. I definitely have a little economic lead just from the Nexus first, right? We're up 5 probes right now, and they're prompting to take 3rd base. Now, can these Vultures sniff that out and slow the 3rd base down? And it looks like the answer to that is yes. Oh, and the mine goes down. That's so annoying. That's good for Nuke. That's really annoying for the Protoss. Oh, these mines. Oh my goodness. Oh god, that's a lot of hull damage on those two goons. Didn't realize the mine went down. Didn't realize that the mine went down. It's blocking it. That's really annoying. This third base has been super delayed. So this is really good for Terran right now. Oh no, shuttle rally. This is... Flick's probably a little frustrated right now. Because this mine really set that all off, right? That probe dying, not being able to build the third, then the mine set the Dragoons, and then the shuttle gets rallied in, the shuttle dies. Like, it's just kind of one of those things where that was just a disaster, and we still haven't cleaned this up. We still haven't cleaned it up. Okay. Third is finally down, and Nuke should be powering up. We have more facts on the way. I like the engineering bay. They're going to plant it over here because Nuke is prepared for there to be a Reaver drop, and there wasn't, right? There's no Reaver tech. The shuttle itself was kind of weird. I imagine they're building it to, like, you know, maybe pressure, do drops or something like Zealot Bomb later. I'm not exactly sure what they were dropping it this fast for, but there's no Reaver tech. But when you have this floating here, when a shuttle comes in, if this isn't here, these can't, like, Goliaths and turrets can't shoot up. It's like high ground, right? They can't see up here. So kind of like in Brood War style, you fly this, or like if it Bermudas, for example, in TVZ, you can actually shoot things up here because you can see them, right? So I like that. I think, though, Nuke has come to realize it's probably not Reaver play. And here's those six factories. And we're going to just start hitting some serious production. I wouldn't be surprised if we see SCVs getting cut pretty soon here. We're pretty much fully saturated. Yeah, there they are. We stopped building SCVs. We're building, you know, the ComSat stations for scans. And this is going to be the powering play. And we are already seeing a little bit of a move out. So let's see. Flick's out here with these Dragoons. He's sharking around. And he has the Observer, so he can see this move out. And he's just going to shave and just apply pressure. Like, I think from Flick's perspective, it's, I'm not going to let this walk across the map for free. And, you know, it's working, right? It's slowed it down already. Like, if this wasn't here, Nuke could just be walking across the map right now. There's damage on a Goliath. I think a Vulture went down. And just forcing the siege up is just really annoying, right? It slows it down so much. So that's definitely what I was talking about earlier, what I kind of associate Flick's play with. Ooh, these two goons are misrallied. Looks like they might have been looking for a third coming down. And there is not. So I think Flick now is figuring out what's going on. There is a Reaver at home. I was wrong about no Reaver tech. I didn't even realize it came down. So we have a defensive Reaver. There was a shuttle. I think shuttle speed was made as well. So instead of doing, like, Reavers aggressively, we're using them more like a defensive, like to slow down the push, which is something I did want to see from MCAS or Circular. Everyone has like 4 names in the server. It's a blast to try to cast. So Flick is maybe he saw those games, maybe he was paying attention, maybe watched my super awesome casts and decided, yeah, I don't want to be in that position. That being said, this is a lot of tanks. Fighting up high ground is hard, and this round is good, but when you get tanks in high numbers like this, the problem is that Dragoons just explode. It's just blue goo everywhere. And yeah, like, this is a good spread. It is, and the Reavers are going to help for sure. And, right, like, we're not hitting anything yet. So, like, we're not forced to fight into this quite yet. Mines on the top side, going to be kind of a pain, but those are detected. This is starting to really wedge itself in. I think when the tanks get up to this high ground, this rally point becomes very compromised. And we are going to see a full-blown counterattack. Okay, sending the Zealots in like waves is nice, but yeah, I don't know. That wasn't it. That wasn't it. There's a lot of tanks left over. That bled a lot of Zealots. We haven't even shot one Reaver shot yet. And look, there's just nothing up here. Or nothing up here. Like, Oh no, the Reavers are gonna go down. The Reavers are gonna go down. Ooh. They got like one shot off. This is game. This is game. Flick's gonna have to go back to the drawing board because this did not work at all versus the 6-fact. And this is what my games have been looking like versus Nuke. I play with Nuke a lot in practice, and this is about what my games have looked like. So let's see if Flick can, you know, change the game plan here. Change the game plan up. That interaction around the third base, I do think really set Flick behind. Losing the shuttle, there was a lot of things that just kind of went wrong really fast. So let's see if Flick can figure it out. Map 2, we're going to be going on to Hydrocarbon, which honestly I think is a absolutely fucking terrible map for Terran, if you want me to be honest. This is a map that I have beat Nuke on, and when I beat Nuke, it's rare. So I think this map is really hard just to like move the mech around on. I don't know, that's just been my experience. I could be wrong. Maybe like the tight chokes make tanks good. My experience is getting mech up this or up this is absolute. Nuke sending a message to you Terran viewers. I love this. Alright, before I go to In the Weeds, let's introduce our players and we'll get started. On the right in the blue trunks, it is the Terran, Nukemaster. And on the left, the red Protoss. Can they figure this out and stop the 2-fact? It is Flick. So Terran players out there, there's your call to reason. Do not deny the perils of our time. Love that. Oh, this is a real life. This is a real one. I should have put on Do Not Disturb. That's hilarious. That's actually a nuke. I should put on Do Not Disturb when I cast. Rookie mistake. That's okay. So we're gonna see the same opener from both sides. We're doing the Rax gas expand, so like the single. Oh no, we're not. We're not. We're gonna open up with a factory. If I'm not mistaken, the factory was after it last time. This is cheeky. Okay. We're gonna get a second gas. We are. Okay, so we have the 2 gas factory. This might even be 2-fact. And we are gonna push this Nexus first. Oh no. This is a bad supply block though. This is an unfortunate supply block. On the Protoss side of things, they only went single gate this time. Which to me says we might make Reavers and try to drop Reavers. I don't know how. Well, they're getting the second gate, but this is much later. Like, because the second gate was done when the Cyber was done last time. So, yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm wondering if this is just to be like, if we're just gonna do like a tank push or something. Like, yeah, okay. Tank comes right out. Machine shop's on. I'm assuming we're gonna start siege. Maybe it'll be like Marine tank Vulture, like a real aggressive 1-base push. And maybe Nuke's feeling the same way that I was, that getting into this section to me as Terran feels very difficult. And Protoss kind of gets the free third. And I would say so with Terran, but like, I don't know, man. Reavers, like, just being this spread out as Terran doesn't feel that good, trying to fast expand anyway. And Protoss loves fast expanding. And yeah, you could kill the eggs and stuff, but I don't know. It just feels tough. It feels tough to me. I'm sure there's some areas that if you get to it and, you know, you break the eggs or something and you get, like, sieged up over here, it's just a nightmare, like, for the Protoss. But all in all, my experience is that this map is not that bad for TOS. It seems to be better. It's mines. It's not siege mode. So we're gonna use mines with this, but it's definitely gonna be a one base push. I mean, I don't feel like you can expand off of this unless you kill the natural of the Protoss. Like this has to get things done. This is pretty committed. I think you have to kill the nat 100%, and then maybe you can expand. If you do not kill this natural, I think this game's over. So here's the push out. 2 vultures. Mines are done. Reavers on the way. 2 tanks. 4 marines. Oh, 6 marines, excuse me. No SCVs, which I kind of wish we had. Okay. A little bit of mines. They're kind of far out, though. That was a lot of fire, like a lot of firepower that just came out. But siege mode is not done. Okay, there's the SCVs. All right, a mine hit. We have batteries coming down. Flick needs to get this Reaver over here ASAP to start pelting, because if these get to siege up and here's the siege, and they're being repaired with these mines down here too, makes dropping on this a real pain. We're gonna have a probe pull, but what if the mines get triggered? They're not, because probes don't. Okay. Oh my god, that was the derpiest scarab of all time. Oh, but the battery! That was crazy. This is a wild fight. Oh my god, that scarab getting off. That tank goes down, and I think with the batteries, I think we've held. But at what cost did we hold? No, it's fine. Look at the workers. 28 to 22. Yeah, I think this is Flick's game. You definitely cannot expand right now as Protoss. There's no way. And the issue is, yeah, but this is the issue. This now can, like, go have map presence. You can go shark around with this. And I don't see any way to deal with this. And expanding here feels so bad. Feels so bad. We don't have anything that shoots up, do we? We have 1 Marine and a Goliath on the way. And yeah. This Dragoon and Reaver could seriously get stuff done, but if you drop here and you hit the mine... Okay. Goon soaks it. So that's why you bring the Dragoon, just drop it first. But look, you're gonna see the timing of this expansion. You have to be feeling good as Flick. You have to. Look at the workers. 41 to 18. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. I love Nuke, but the Terran Hope, I do not believe, is alive in this game. And I didn't even realize this third is straight mining. There's too much going on. I think they took the third while this was happening. I got a little zoned in. Got a little over-focused over there. But the fact that this third is done mining, it's like, you know, I don't know what else there is to say. I don't want to be a doomer over here. I don't want to be like, this game is 100% over, but this game's over. I've said that before in cast, and I've been wrong, so maybe sometimes I'm a little bit eager to call it, but I don't see how it's possible. There's 1 worker. There's 1 lone SCV. Just mining here by himself. Like, look at the Protoss economy over here. Alright. More sharking around. Double Reaver. Are we going to really drop on that? You're fucking insane. You're insane. But it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter at all. There's no... Oh, yeah, okay, there's GG. We're going to see a GG right now. There's no way. Those scarabs were huge, yeah. Okay, good game. We'll play it to Flick. They brought it back. I think part of that was Nuke feeling pressured by this map to do something different. Let's see. I think I got hit up in Discord as all right. So the next game we're going on to is Sylphid, and I forgot to update the score last time, so I'm gonna update it. Can't speak today at all. I'm gonna update that for this next one, let's hop on in. Let's check out Game 3 on Sylphid. Me and Nuke have to talk about how to name these maps, because the naming is crazy. There's no way the naming was right, so... Okay. In the 12 o'clock position, the Red Protoss from, I believe, Vietnam. If I'm wrong about that, I'm going to feel like an asshole. It is Flick. And in the 9-ish, maybe like 8:45 position, it is my man Nukemaster. I think with this map being what it is, and with the way that the first 2 games went, I'm gonna call it right now, and we're gonna see the 6-fact. That 6-fact build is super strong. Nuke plowed through circular with that 6-fact build, and I don't know what the response is supposed to be totally honest with you. So I think we're going to go back to those. We're going to go back to basics, and we're going to 6-fact our way through. Once again, we're going to have the Nexus first, into Gateway, into Gas, and then the first game we saw that second Gateway come down, and then the Cyber. Next game we saw the Cyber right away with a later second Gateway, and we went into faster Reavers. So let's see, with the early Gas, kind of making me feel maybe Reavers, but we'll have to see, because... I wonder if Flick has any tricks up their sleeve, or if Flick just came into this like, I'm gonna play straight up. That's one thing that I feel like I was doing, though I didn't win most of my best ofs. I lost my first best of 3, I won my second in the lower bracket, and then I got knocked out by the Zerg player Munta. I don't know how to say their name. Munta? I don't know where they're from. I know they're from Europe somewhere, but I don't know what country, so... like, I can't assume the language inflection at all. But I was like the only player that I saw really mixing in some dirt cheese. And because like I was cannon rushing people, and you know, like I had some prepared builds for some maps that were really dirty. And I think a lot of the other players here just rely on their fundamental mechanics. They're relying on being good, straight-up solid players. And I know that I'm not a very good straight-up solid player. So I rely on doing some sneaky, you know, little sneaky snake builds. So I kind of wish we would see something like that from Flick. But it doesn't look like we are. We are going to see quick range, a Dragoon. We're going to see the Robo. And the way this is on one gate, to me, is like... it's probably Reavers. And if I'm smelling that out, I'm sure Nuke is smelling that out. On Nuke's side of things, the factories are coming down. The machine shop's there, right? Mines, we're going to see some vultures. Probably, I think that they've been doing 2 vultures and then a tank every game. Just to kind of get it started. I still haven't paid attention to see if it's been speed or siege first. I think it's going mine, siege, speed. But I could be wrong. I think that is it. But yeah, it's been 2 vultures and then a tank. And the setup's pretty much identical to game 1. From the Terran, and then from the Protoss, the setup is similar-ish. But yeah, we're not seeing that Reaver tech right away. We are going to get observers first, which is not really what I expected, considering just the 1 gate opener. Second gate here. Looks like maybe they're getting ready to take a 3rd base, so we might see a really fast 3rd. And notice here, like, these vultures are not here yet, and this 3rd might get built. Remember that first game? That was something I talked about was like an issue. So they're blocking this one, but can we get this started? We did. This is a huge difference from game 1. It's going to get scouted, but this isn't going to be like significantly delayed like in game 1. I mean, game 1, that got killed, a mine got set, Dragoons got hit with mines out here. It was like, you know, a bit of a fustercluck out there, right? This game's a lot smoother for Flick to get into a standard macro game, and they're playing careful. They're looking for mines. I love sending that back. I guarantee you, me playing Protoss, I walk that one out, and these run by in my natural and kill a bunch of goddamn probes. 100%. That would be me. With the Observer out, is that Stargate tech already? Okay. I wonder if we're just gonna go, like, straight into Arbiter. Arbiters have been seeing a lot of play in our custom games within the server. I don't think I've cast in any games with Arbiters. Not that I can think of. I don't think I've cast in any games that got there. But Arbiters have been seeing a lot of play within the server, internally, in practice games. And Stasis is good. But are we going to go straight to carriers? It's going to be straight to carriers. I love this. Off 2 Stargate. I kind of feel like you can make a third, to be honest. I did this build the other day, and I beat Saw, who is much better than me. I think they'll beat me next time if I try these shenanigans. They weren't ready for it. But I bamboozled them a little bit, and I took them down with a carrier build. And I did 3 Stargates, and I didn't even have my third up and running yet, so... Okay, a little probey kills. Little vultures run by. This is annoying. Oh my god, this is really annoying. Oh my god, this is really annoying. 7 workers? Holy shit. I was like, oh, we're gonna get a few. We got 7 probes. That was big. Look at how much that evened out the worker differential here. Yeah, and so Nuke has not sniffed this out, I don't think, at all. Like, they start making some Goliaths on their side anyway, and we are seeing that 6 factory setup. It's exactly what I thought we were going to see. But these Goliaths are not like, I'm going to fight carriers Goliaths numbers. These are, I'm going to stop a shuttle. I don't want to die to Reavers. Reavers are really good. They're really annoying. And the build looks identical other than this. I feel like from Flick on the side of Nukemaster, like what you're experiencing looks so similar, right? There's the Dragoons out here again. They're going to try to slow down your push out, right? You're keeping tabs on the army. You have observers going. We're trying to make sure there's no mines, and there's really no mines out on the map right now. So can Flick survive to get enough carriers for them to be meaningful in this fight? Because my opinion on carriers is 2 carriers is hot ass, and not the good kind that you like. They're just not very good. But once you get like 4, 5, 6 carriers, they start getting really, really, really good. They scale quickly. You know, Vulture move out here. And then the tank move out. I like that, because I would have followed those Vultures and completely not paid attention to these tanks. Got the Observer. Vultures are trying to run by. We are clogged up at the Nat. Oh, they're going to set mines behind this. This is cute. Look at this. This is, ew. This is nasty. Yeah, I kind of love that. So I guess the problem that I'm seeing right now for Flick, and I think this is going to be, oh yeah, I love targeting the Goliath there. Oh, I wish they would have got it, but, you know, the Protoss in me is like, yeah, get that Goliath. We can't show these carriers. And I do not think you can take a 4th right now, man. You're crazy. Where are the carriers? Oh, duh, right in front of me, blended into the Protoss base. 4 is okay. How many Goliaths completely on the board do we have? Only 4, though. Well, 4 carriers beats 4 Goliaths, I'll tell you that right now. I had like sending in the Zealot, kind of trying to do the Mind Drag. That was an awkward Dragoon micro there. You need to plug up that hole. You need to plug up that hole right now. Okay, the carriers are coming in. But I think that this is it too little too late? It's going to take forever to clean this up. But now we see the carriers, and we are massacring these tanks. But look how much shit's here. Nuke's just going to run over and say, fuck your 3rd, bruh. You know what I mean? And... well... we haven't been shaving off much of this Goliath count either. Which I know with carriers, like, you target the tanks, right? But still... yeah, no, I guess what they're doing is right. No, I think this is okay for Flick. I don't know. It's not like the third's up for the Terran, and the push was denied. I mean, it was cleaned up completely. That's a lot of Goliaths on the way. The thing about this now is that I think that, like, we need the ground army to be good again for Protoss. And we need to retake this base. Unless they're saying, Flick might be... I don't know, we're down in workers now. 46 workers? I just don't know if you can afford to really get this ground army up to where it is to deal with the Goliaths. And it looks like they're... Okay, they're going to double expand. They just want to stop this third, which I think is fine. If they continue to do this, it's a pretty good spot. But this is, I don't know, man. It's kind of scary. Goliaths are kind of scary. Look at that, shaving the tanks. I really actually do like that, because then your ground army can kind of just fight the Goliaths, right? But can this, though? This is a puny ground army. This ground army isn't, like, big enough that when I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the I'm going to clean up. Oh no, these two carriers right here. We cannot lose carriers. We cannot lose carriers, and we just lost a carrier. We're going to lose two. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. This game's crazy. The worker count is super even. The third base is coming down for Terran now, but they're pushing out again. Once again, this is just like, they're just shoving forward with this army. And the amount of Goliaths here will beat this amount of carriers straight up. Carriers, like, notice, like, they're parking on these pillars. Like, they have to, like, abuse terrain. And they need to fight with the ground army to hit the Goliaths when they're, like, where the tanks aren't going to be hitting the Dragoons, right? Like, the ground army is way better for Protoss if this doesn't have tanks. But when there's tanks, these Dragoons do not do well at all. And Flick has completely gone back in the ground. I'm not seeing any more carrier production. I don't know if that was the call. It seems like they feel that is the better choice here. But I'm kind of scared for the Protoss. Like, this is a lot of Goliath, and once again, I don't see this ground army dealing with these tanks at all. I just don't see it. And, okay. I thought that was carriers going to go down, do the tasteless cast where I just start making noises like, what? You know, like, we're just going to make grunts as I cast this. But see, now look, here it's going, and this is so smart. Nuke is sectioning this army off up here. Look, you can't really run by this very easily to get to these Goliaths. And what you need, this is exactly the fight that Nuke's wanting, where the Goliaths get to fight with the carriers, and the ground army had to walk through here with the tanks and mines. It didn't completely work. It was close. If these tanks were inched up a little bit more, it would definitely be there. But these aggressive turrets coming down, I remember this last time from Circular, this is pretty difficult to deal with. And to be honest, I wouldn't mind some batteries to run back to keep these carriers healthy. Because look, that one's really low. That one's really low. We might just lose two. Oh my god, there's two of them there. There's now three of them that are so close to death. One goes down. And the carrier count is getting just desperately low. Remember, this fourth was taken, but it's not mining, so it's not really doing anything. And Flick hasn't made any more workers, and neither has Nuke. So the decision to sit here in the 40s on workers, look at that. Look at these Dragoons just get hammered by those tanks. I don't think this is the fight. This is definitely not the fight. And at this point, to be honest, I think that these Goliaths can almost just win the game now. So we're going to section off this third. If this third goes down, the game is absolutely for sure done. And these tanks, oh my god, this army clumps up so much. I mean, at this point, I feel like maybe you should just clear the tanks with the ground. It wasn't that many of them, but yeah, we're sacking. This hits on the probes. Flick's under 40 probes. Is the main mined out? The main's completely mined out. Not for Terran yet, but for Protoss. Terran it will be soon. But the reality is that these interceptors cost money, right? They're not free. And carriers just have a constant mineral drain. You know, it's the price of engaging. And the ground army's gone. the supply is heavily in favor of the Terran, and I believe that this will be Nuke going up 2-1 in this series, bringing it to the potential ace. Potential ace for Nuke. Well played. Once again, anyone out there listening, all of you out there listening, I appreciate you popping in and watching the video, checking it out. You know, I'm new to doing this overall, but I enjoy casting. I'm broadcasting you from a beautiful, beautiful winter Saturday in Southern California. It's 60 degrees, sunny. I got a cheeky Bitburger German Pilsner right now to work with me through this cast. It's delicious. And, you know, we're all just enjoying life, watching some good Brood War versus Brood War in the StarCraft 2 engine. So once again, thanks. I believe that brings us here to Vermeer. Once again, these numbering is wrong, but I realize if I start doing them in order, it just seems to work. So hopefully I'm watching them in the right order. But let's go to game 4. Flick versus Nukemaster on Vermeer. Probably the fan favorite map of the Discord, I would say. All right. In the bottom right corner of Vermeer, it is the Red Protoss, Flick, fighting for his tournament life, trying to make it to the finals. They got knocked out of the winners finals. Can they claw their way back for a chance to fight Hydralisk Enjoyer, for a chance to win the most prestigious Brood War only StarCraft Evolution Amateur League out there? Or will this man get the shot in the finals? It is the Blue Terran, the Terran hope of the tournament, clawing their way back through the lower bracket from a relatively early loss against Circular, getting revenge, making it all the way up to the lower bracket finals in a dominant fashion. It is Nukemaster, the People's Terran. I feel like Terrans, if you think about this, they're just the Australians of the humans in StarCraft, right? They just rounded up a bunch of prisoners and sent them off to somewhere in space. Like that's exactly what we did with, you know, with Australia. And I'm British enough, you know, via my British Canadian grandmother to say we here, you know. So, you know, it makes sense that the Aussie playing some Terran. And we have those shenanigans. We have some shenanigans. I wasn't even paying attention. I've just been so used to Flick being Flick. This is so sweet. We got a 2-gate. This is almost like a Max Packs where you build, like you go pylon gate, it looks like it was. I can't even believe. I was so excited hyping up the narrative, I didn't even realize that we have some real shit going on. We're going to 2-gate pressure into expand. So we're going to go Nexus before core, and you have to be a little confused as Nuke. You have to be a little bit confused. You're like, wait a minute, what? Because you have a Nexus down, but there's nothing else here. Oh, there's the Cyber Scout, though. So you know there's a gate. You know there's at least one gate. But this is not the most common build in our server. And here's the First Zealot. First Zealot comes in. This is important. Can we... Yeah, I was about to say, I think you slow down the expansion first, right? So I would say this is already not bad for Flick. 2 Zealots here now are a big deal. They're a lot more than one, but you gotta not be attacking the CC. You don't want that. Oh, the micro is kind of slop city right now. No. Oh no, this did not. Oh shit. That was not what Flick wanted. This is not what Flick wants. Oh no, the bad rally is definitely not what Flick wants. This Zealot didn't get an attack off. This Zealot didn't get an attack off. This is bad. I think that you could probably do this with some batteries up here, and this is just like, I think this is actually getting me thinking. I'm gonna try something like this. I'm not gonna expand, and I'm gonna, when the zealots come in, I'm just gonna start laying down pylons and batteries, and just battery zealot rush while I get up to dragoons and do it off one base. That seems pretty nasty. But as it sounds right now, or as it stands, I mean, yeah, Flick is up in workers. Flick's up in workers, but man, I don't know. Your gates are in the middle of the map. It's kind of awkward. Range isn't done, so we can't pressure the bunker yet. We do have a robo on the way. I'm wondering if we're gonna go. So we have a shuttle coming. We're gonna go straight to Reaver, or yeah, we're gonna go straight to Reaver, and I like that. I like keeping up the pressure. I think from here in the game, Flick has to keep doing damage, even though the workers are good for Flick. I just think that if Nuke gets up to that 2 base 6 factory, we hit 2 base saturation, 6 factories are out, and that push goes across the map again, it's going to be very difficult for the Protoss from this position to stop it, regardless of the economy lead. I would really like to see Flick just focus on, I am going to keep you contained, and I'm going to make everything that you're trying to do difficult. You know, I'm going to use Dragoons, but at this point, I don't think the Dragoons, yeah, they can't. That tank's really well positioned. But you're not going to be able to hit this, but still, like, we're going to need something that does damage and kind of sets the Terran back, in my opinion. That Reaver's on the way, and everything is scouted here. This is a good scout. This is a real good scout. This is something I think that Nuke's been doing that is so much better than the other Terrans in this group. No shade. I'm one of them. My off race is Terran, and it's terrible. But these follow-up SCV scouts are so good. Look at this. It's just here. It's like, yeah, are you really gonna... Yeah, you're gonna have to pull all these Dragoons back to deal with this. Like, it's annoying. Well, the Reaver's done, and I do not want to see this one used defensively. Unless it's, like, up here. Right, like with Dragoons, and you drop it and fire it off and pick it up, and every time Terran tries to walk forward, you're pegging it with Scarabs. Unless we're seeing that, I do not want to see this just sit back. I want to see it go. And, you know, Flick seems to be more focused on taking this third base. I like this third base location. It's nice. This is a really nice little choke. You can kind of cannon this up, and it makes it really hard for vultures to run by. So, you know, that's good. I mean, Flick is doing fine in this game, to be honest. I thought that position was going to be much worse for Flick after the 2 Zealot pressure kind of just straight up failed. But I guess the way the build worked, that you expand before core, you know, made it doable. Shuttles here. This tank, look at how good that covers. Look at that. You can't drop this in here. You cannot drop this in here. Unless you do that. I was totally wrong. You can drop this in here. This is huge. This is huge. This is... I'm going to eat my words on that. I'm like, this is not how it's going to work. And I was wrong. This is exactly how it's going to work. Oh my god, if you get a Scarab into this... No. Shoot one more. No, it wasn't a very good shot. This tank is so well positioned. This is a lot of SCVs. 11 SCVs are dead. Like, yeah, we lost a lot of army, but look at the setup of this game. This third, 2 cannons in here. We're mining. I mean... man, this is looking pretty good for Flick. Oh yeah, I forgot. It's 1 to 2. There we go. I gotta remember to update these scores. Sorry about that. Yeah. That was a rally. I didn't even notice that. That's funny. Now Flick's going to fly around and try to do some damage in the main. There is a turret here. We are flying the NG Bay. I like the use of the barracks for this side. And, you know, we can do a little bit of a pin. But we are at... What, is this 5 facts right now? No, 6, actually. I can't count. I'm a math major, but I can't count. The 6 facts are here. And the reality is, if you think about the other games, like 42 workers is fine for Terran, in my opinion, is what it seems to be. It seems that, like, as long as you're pretty much saturated on 2 bases, you can make a lot of factory units, and you can get some upgrades, and you can put pressure on the map. And Flick being at 55 workers is good, being up in supply is good, but this is a lot of Dragoons. And the reality is when tanks start getting in really high numbers and they give upgrades, like +1 is here. We don't have any ground upgrades completed for the Protoss yet. +1's on the way. +1 tanks versus no armor Dragoons, these Dragoons explode. And I think Flick is saying, like, I just don't want you to get 3 bases. But I don't even see, like, I don't think Nuke's thinking about 3 bases. Nuke is saying, I'm going to run a shitload of tanks and vultures over, and I'm going to blow your shit up. And, right? Like, and this is where Flick needs to be very careful. Flick needs to slow this down and force the siege, but we need to not just be eating tank shots. Every time you run in these Dragoons eat a tank shot, it's too much. And we're all really ahead in workers, so, like that. Like, those are softened up. Next time that happens, these die. Or at least a few of them, right? So, this is good. Forcing the siege is great. Slowing this down is really important. And we're going to do some Zealot bombs. Oh no, you can't lose these. You cannot lose them. No. The Zealot bombs are getting off, though, and the tanks are blowing themselves up, kind of. I don't know about that. I mean, it's not like this is looking good for Terran, but I know Nuke. I've seen a lot of their games. They've been making this losers bracket run after I started regularly casting this league, and I've cast a lot of their games. You can't bleed this. You can't bleed anything anymore. It's like, we don't have the Zealot numbers to surround this, though this Zealot drop would be really, really good. This is good. Because it's the splash from the tanks that is, you know, really setting this up. But these pushes are scary. I mean, Flick is doing a fantastic job with these Zealot bombs. Like, so good. And I think that if Flick takes this game and we go to an ace match, this will be how it's done. But I'm still not counting Nukemaster out. This is a strong push. Flick has completely cut workers at 60. I love that. And is straight up just making 10 Zealots at a time, which is crazy. That is a lot of Zealots. No, you can't lose these shuttles, though. You can't be losing those shuttles. That was an absolutely terrible engagement for the Protoss. That was horrible. Oh my god. Flick's gonna lose. Flick's gonna lose. I thought they had this game. Flick's gonna lose. Yeah, you don't even need the siege here. Look at this. Do we have +2? No, just 1-1. There it is. Good game. That last fight, losing those shuttles, it just fell apart so fast. They were doing so good, but man, Nukemaster, with the 3-1 victory over Flick, solidifies their spot in the SEAL Season 1 Grand Finals. Really well played to both players. I think Flick was super close to figuring that last game out, super close to holding it. Minor changes to that game plan, and I think what they were doing was right. I think that they got a little premature pushing in up that ramp, and they paid the price for it. I think that 10 Zealots were coming out at a time. You get 1 or 2 more rounds of Zealots. You keep just doing those little pegs of Zealot bombs were pretty nice. Set up in an area where you get a really nice big arc and a surround. You run Zealots on it, and maybe that goes differently. But that wasn't the way it happened. So the finals is going to be a TVZ Nukemaster going up against the Ravager of the winners bracket, Hydra Enjoyer. And let's see if Nukemaster's TVZ is good enough. Nuke has notoriously been shredding Zergs in this tournament, but Hydra hasn't played any ZVT. So maybe they have some tricks up their sleeves. I'm sure they're aware of Nuke's games to some degree. I don't know how many of these casts they watch, but I'm sure that they are aware, because they are friends with Alex Death, or Overmind, which is one of Nuke's previous opponents. And I would be pretty surprised if they didn't share some replays and they didn't talk about it like, hey, you're going to play them. How was that person playing? Blah, 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 blah. That would surprise me. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'll be back soon with that cast. And once again, thanks for popping in and watching. This is Brad Casting, Season 1 of the SEAL. All have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are.